Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Thursday edition of the Man United Agenda. It's me, Bath Time on a Monday, Juma. Today we're going to be previewing the Man United versus Nottingham Forest game. Good evening. How are we, gentlemen?
Not bad. How are you, Mr. B? How are you, Bath Time? I'm okay. Nothing to complain about here. It's all good. I'm happy to be alive and happy to be on the show as always, as I am most days. But good to Bath Time's on the show today because, we're talking Forest, big game. And we have to prove a few things to the doubters out there. Not that I'm worried.
Oh, you're not? Oh, good. Didn't sound like that a couple of minutes ago, to be fair. No, not really. I'm joking. How you doing, Bath Time?
Yeah, I'm all right. That intro always gets me properly pumped up. I always feel like I'm ready to go to war. It's like the last act of a film, and we really got it to do or die. And that's kind of how it feels for United this Saturday.
After 2 games.
Same as last year, isn't it? It's like Groundhog Day.
Crazy. Yeah. Look, we're 3 points better off than last year.
Yeah, there's more things. I mean, like, I'm always the sort of yin to a Monday's relentlessly excessive positivity. But, like, there are some things to be more positive about than last year. But some things.
Well, let's just say hi quickly to the guys in the comments. Matthew, subscribe to his channel, Football United TV. Big up. I think he done a show. Did Matthew do a show tonight? I always miss him. I'm always working late. I'm sure Matty done a show. Go check out. He done a show earlier at 7 o'clock. Stephanie Griffiths saying Army. Big up to the Army. That's Agenda Army. Big up to Vincent. How you doing, Vincent? Hi, guys. DK Wilson all the way from the States. A lot of stuff going on in the States at the moment, isn't there? Bath time. But anyway, let's move on. Stumpy saying, good evening, chaps. How you doing, Stumpy Cantop? Ed Mayhem. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well, bro. Ed, in May, we're having another game. Don't forget. Be there, be square. Hello, Andrew Williams saying hello, comrades. Communist, you. Pranay is saying here, how is everyone doing? Pranay, you're coming to regular on the show, man. I like seeing your face turn up and offer some contributions. And finally, big up to WWE 2K, Reg Iggy. I don't know what it says here. Good evening, peeps. How you all? We're doing well, man. Have we got any new players? I turned off the news. Saying there.
We might give you a couple of updates. We haven't got too much, to be fair, but if anything pops up during it, I'm sure we'll get it out there. Guys, it feels like a must-win game already after 2 games. It wasn't the start that any of us expected performance-wise. I don't think. Points-wise, is it less than you wanted? Did we expected to beat Wolves? I said we got dicked by Spurs. In hindsight, maybe it was wrong to be so confident about the game. So I'm going to step back on the Forest one. To be fair, I'm not going to go in there all guns blazing, thinking that we're going to batter them. But I think we need some sort of positivity. Obviously, we know Mason Mount is out. That's going to be something that we'll discuss in a minute to see who can fill the gaps. But is there anybody else injured? Is Maguire going to get selected for the squad? And also, looks like Evans has got that 1-year extension. I'm thinking that is the final nail in the coffin of Harry Maguire.
Well, you're throwing it all out there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to discuss. Are you asking the questions or are you answering them?
I've put everything out there. It's now out there. It's now all the information that I wanted in my head is out. So
eat as much as you want. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna take a bit of I'm gonna pass it around, but I do like broccoli and greens and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna take the bit about Mason Mount and the injuries and who's available.
Sorry, before we go any further, this guy Pipes, he's been on my show about 3 times. He's a Spurs supporter, so I know why he is in here today, and I expect you to see you tomorrow when Don P's on, so that you could join him in kicking my ass for the 5-minute segment that he's allowed to have. Sorry about that. Go on. I'm on there.
I was just going to say, Pipes has got that Nelson Mandela cut, you know, with the party. Or Frederick Douglass. He looks a bit like Frederick Douglass with that sort of party as well. But big up Pipes. You're bringing back that look from the 1800s. Anyway. I hate Spurs right now. I don't care. Sorry, Pipes. So, yeah, talk about who's available. We know that for 6 weeks, it could change from 2 weeks to 6 weeks now with Mount. We still don't know what the injury is, but that's a key issue. I'm not really the best qualified person on this panel to talk about that because I know someone who's done a video recently to sort of address this problem about Mason Mount and where we've been going wrong and what we need to do to cover that position. And considering that's the only person I consider to be out at the moment, I think I'm going to hand over bath time. So here's the plate bath time. Here's some nice offerings of veg and fruits and eats that you can dine on.
I do like veg. As I feel like one most of the time. Right, what do you want to know?
Well, the Mount thing. I think you made a good video the other day.
All right, okay.
The Mount situation. Maybe you can just talk about that.
Okay, so I think that there's been a little bit of confusion about why Mount was the first guy we signed, where we sort of, some people think we paid over the odds for him, where does he fit into the team, all this sort of stuff. And what Mount gives you is he helps Rashford out a lot, and I think how Rashford's going to be used this season, which is against Spurs, we saw that what's his face, Garnacho was the guy that was getting most of the 1v1s, right? He'd get the ball, he'd dribble, and he wouldn't do anything with it. Brilliant. But the reason he was getting that is because we were compacting the team on the right-hand side. Most of the ball was going through Wan-Bissaka. Antony was doing Antony things, which was very annoying. And we haven't really seen that from United, where we go down the right. Traditionally, we've always, since back to Ollie, we've been going down the left. And the reason is because we have a left-sided midfielder and a right-sided midfielder. And when you compact the pitch, so if you compact the pitch on the left, the right-sided midfielder has got to be an absolute workhorse because he's got to be able to cover switches. And that's always been Bruno. And for all the stuff that's levelled against Bruno, I don't think anyone has a go at his work rate.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe his tracking back, but not his work rate. He runs a lot. I think that Mount came in to play on the left side of the midfield in order to do the same job as Bruno and allow us to cover that left-hand space more when we're compacting on the right. That gives Rashford 1v1s. And so without Mount coming in, with Mount being injured, I think that unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we're going to have to compact up the left side of the midfield, the left side of the team, if you want Eriksen to play. Because Eriksen can't do that running role when we compact the right-hand side. He's just not, he doesn't have the legs for it. So is that the question that you were asking?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it's great when you've got the tactics board as well, and you can illustrate it a lot better than that. I get it. It's just that I've had to look at it a few times, sort of make sense of it, because it's really difficult when you break down. But you do, go and check out Bath Time's video. It's on YouTube under Bath Time. Just breaking it down. I'm sure you'll be bringing a few more videos throughout the season. If there's further problems continue like that. With the Eriksen thing, we talked yesterday about. I don't know if you saw the show. We had a guy in the comments. Can't remember his name.
King T'Challa.
Not King T'Challa. It was Stash King.
Oh, King Stash.
Yeah.
Stash.
There's a lot of kings about, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But he was saying he was ripping Bruno, but he gave a reason why. He was explaining why he's not respecting Bruno. But at the end of it, he said he likes Bruno, he's a good player, but he felt there's a few issues around him, maybe with his leadership and that kind of thing. But you just said there that Bruno does, one thing you can't accuse him of is his work rate, and I agree with that.
His tracking back, though, is a bit dodgy sometimes, and his pressing work is amateurish. From time to time, he's began to sort of curve his runs and things, but he feels like, even though he's 28, he feels very unpolished, Bruno Fernandes. It's just go. It's like watching a crackhead out there. He gets the ball, let's all go. Just no thinking, don't look around the pitch, see where everyone is, let's just go forwards. And to be honest, you get players like Kevin De Bruyne plays like this as well, where he's the only one at City that sort of regularly loses the ball, trying mad stuff. But with us, we just don't have the kind of the structure in place in order to allow someone as mad as Bruno to do what they do. But I don't know, Mr. B. Is this all cycle babble, or is there like anything interesting to it?
If we were winning, maybe we wouldn't have things to dissect. But I think we're clutching at straws at the moment. I really think that we're clutching at straws. I think Bruno's great. I'm never going to have a bad word to say against Bruno. I think we have two issues in our team. One is that central midfield, and two is whether Garnacho should be playing.
Okay.
Those are the only two issues I think that we've got so far this season.
All right, the comments are flying in. Let me just touch on this. Jump in if you want, guys. It's a free-for-all. It's a brawl. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, says Pipes. Andrew Williams saying he's going to be away for 3 weeks with injured eyes after watching the last 2 games. Sorry, Pipes. Roasting man. It's only 2 games, peeps. Sorry about that, Pipes. We've got Reggie, 2K saying here, I think you can only play Mount with a 3 at the back when you have Fernandes and Mount in the same team, I think he's saying there. Big up to Matthew Bassett, how you doing? And big up to Man United. Here we go. Pranay is saying we played 3-1-6 in possession, leaving Casemiro alone. That's Pranay, his observations of the game the other day. Pipes is saying here, sorry lads, but Chelsea pulled your pants down. Leicester start with Mount. Don't know what he does. 60 million don't get you much these days, he's saying there. So DK saying here, if Maguire starts getting let off the roster, how long before you guys in England see a new show, Home with Harry, exclusive on Sky? Pipes, be serious. You guys signed Richarlison. That's a backslap. Very hard and crisp. MWW 2K is saying here, no, in possession, we got a 2-3-2-3. All these numbers going around makes sense. That Alex is saying here, I think Garnacho is best as an impact player at the moment. Rashi out left, Martial, Haaland a striker, one of the two, or Sancho as a false 9. Then either Sancho on the right with Antony Pelestri, midfield has got a clue. Man United's in the house. How you doing? Here we go. Alex again is saying maybe Mount, Eriksen further up, then Bruno behind them, and Casemiro behind them. Here we go. Again, do you think Mount was brought into place Fernandes? That's Bruno Fernandes.
No.
Question from WWE. Man United saying here, Eriksen will be gone soon. He's not starting enough games. Stop using my word, Darius. That's right.
Don't tell me what to do, Andrew.
And we should say big up to Rajet as well. He's in the house. Pipes is saying here, no apology needed, all fans. Respect, man. No, that's what I love. Great sense of humour. Got to give it and take it, and you definitely gave it to us early in the show. Yeah, that's the comments for now. So any more team news? Because you laid out a big spread there.
My biggest issue, obviously, the same injuries. The squad's the same. The squad hasn't changed. Obviously, they had the behind what they called it, closed doors game.
Yeah,
where we got dicked yesterday, and Højlund didn't get any game time. So that was the one that kind of was getting me excited for this. But it looks like he's going to be out until after the international break. I still don't understand how we could have spent money on a player who is so unfit. I mean, he's supposed to...
Mr. B, do you think that like we've basically signed a sort of Ledley King, where like we're going to get a... No, Ledley King was a fantastic centre-back, like really, really good, but he couldn't train. He could only play games. And with Højlund's got like a stress fracture or something that means that you've got to like minimise the amount of physical exercise an athlete is doing, which is crazy. But do you, like the fact that he didn't play on Wednesday, it doesn't necessarily mean that he won't go in, because his issue is getting overplayed. So I wouldn't expect him to get many minutes in meaningless games behind closed doors.
Okay, but at some stage he's going to need some sort of run out. You know what Ten Hag's like? Ten Hag, even if he's fit and he comes back, it's going to be 3 games or 4 games before he starts. Ten Hag just won't throw him in.
Okay, I think he will get thrown in. To be honest,
this weekend
training sessions. Well, if he's fit, I think he can get a run out. I think training sessions are so intense these days. Going back, not about me, but I remember like people doing warm-ups, and I like to conserve my energy. Some of the warm-ups these guys do is like playing a 90 minutes match for me. I'd be blowing at my arse. I don't know how Darius, I mean, last time you're fit, so it's all right for you. But some of these warm-ups I see some teams doing, it's like, come on, man, are you serious? I'm gonna have nothing left, you know? Athletes. I'm watching the World Championships right now. Not right now, this minute. I wish I was, but some of these athletes, their warm-ups are intense. Just to get the stretching right, just to go through the whole procedure, it takes about an hour to warm up, just to do a 10-second run, And so the same applies for Premiership football, or even when I watch my local team here, semi-pro team, their warm-ups are flipping hard. So I think with the training they have these days, I think he can have 2 or 3 training sessions with the team, and then he can start a game. He's already fit. It's just a little back issue. I think it's been blown out of proportion because we're Man United. They're trying to sort of throw jibes and rib us about it. I don't think it's that serious. I just think he just needs to go have 3-4 days of training with the first team, that intensity, and he'll be ready to go.
Amondi, you say it's not that serious, but we've signed a player who can't start because of that injury.
But the injury occurred on pre-season when he was playing football. He's been playing football. So the injury occurred. He got an injury. All right. Is it that bad that we shouldn't sign him? No, we can sign him. We can run him through. It would take a few weeks to heal. And he's healing now. And he's going to be ready to play. Simple.
But wasn't it not found in the medical? It's like when we got him to the club.
Yeah, I heard, yeah. So it was.
He hasn't played any minutes for Manchester United in anything.
But he was injured with Atalanta during the pre-season. So he's getting into fitness, got an injury, has to rest with back injuries. You can't detect it. I could take a day off work, or they couldn't prove if I got back injury or not. Like the whiplash injury, you can't prove that you're, unless you have an MRI or something, some detailed scan. You're not going to know. So with a back injury, it's just something you just have to rest, or you just have to give time to heal. And I just think it's a case where I'm not concerned about it. It's just that you have these special names for things. It's like, I got an ingrown toenail. They give it some stupid name. They give it a stupid name, say some fancy name. Like metatarsal. I've never heard of that before. Do you think guys in the 70s had heard about metatarsal and things like that? It's like, he stamped my foot, run it off. And that kind of. It's. I just think it gets a bit silly with his medical terminology and all these sort of names. It's ridiculous. He's got a bad back, as Rashford had a bad back. Simple thing. He ran it off.
You're just dissing medical science now.
Yeah, I am.
They overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Your bone's not broken. You've just got a jealous foot. Get over it.
It's funny how Mr. B was laughing at ingrown toenails. I want to see your feet.
No, you fuck. I tell you, mate. It's got more than one nail that's ingrown. My feet are an absolute mess. But yeah, that's not something that you want to see. Changes wise, what are we doing, guys? Obviously, we've kind of half gone through the midfield issues, to be fair, and the conundrum that we've got. We've seen 2-3-2-3. We've seen 3-1-6. Somebody's coming there with 4-5-1. What are we playing? What are we going to play? What formation is he going to play? Because I don't think he's for changing. I really don't think he's for changing. He wants to play that. What is it? 3-1-6? Is that what he's playing?
Yeah, look. I hate formations with every part of my soul. Like, they're not useful. They're a load of nonsense most of the time. You have like different setups in different phases of the game, and the 3-1-6 is like a first and second phase where what he's doing is he's making the pitch as big as possible, and then when we get up the pitch, we compress down. And we put the line up and all this kind of stuff. And we normally play with 5 across and 5 in a rest defence. Like pretty much like everyone else. You don't need to get too worried about formations and things. But I do agree with Mr. B on this. I think that Ten Hag is stubborn to a fault. And that whilst we might see personnel changes, I don't think we're going to see anything resembling a system change. I think it's going to be exactly the same, and maybe the players will give us a bit more second phase play, but I still think we're going to be trying to do synthetic transitions all the time and bang and channel balls.
I'm with you on that in a way. Midfield issues. I don't think there is that many issues. It's just the whole team. I think we just need to wake up.
What, 4?
Get with the program. Four guys in midfield, is there?
I said, no, we've only got, you said there's no midfield issues.
Oh,
I was
right.
just saying we've only got
sorry,
4.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
personnel. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe then. But I think there's enough to get us through this game and get us through to the Forest. And there's another week when these other guys getting back from injury as well. I think the main issue is don't change things. It would just undermine the manager. Last year, he had to change things a little bit to sort of realise actually we're not ready to play out from the back, for example. We haven't got the personnel to do what I really want to do. So this year, it's a year later. The team are more branded with Ten Hag football, and I think we just need to continue with what we're doing and don't worry about the opposition so much. Just play the way we're trying to play and wait for it to click. And for it to click for me, it's about the attitude needs to change, the aggression, the physicality as well. Bath Time was brilliantly explaining about having to do a bit of work rate to get back sometimes to cover spaces, that kind of thing. That takes determination and being switched on. And I just think that's where the players need to be on it totally 100%. We can't afford to sleep when we're out there. And what we've done in the last couple of games, we've slept a bit, been a bit lax days, and we've ended up getting sort of nearly threatened with a loss and embarrassment at playing against Wolves. And then we did lose against Spurs. So it's time to turn it around. And I think sometimes when your back's against the wall and the pressure's on, and it's just about keeping the pressure on from now on, we need to perform. And I think we will perform. And I just don't think we need to amend too much. Just keep it going. Don't make big major changes. Otherwise, it makes it think like you've made 7-8 signings to play a system. And suddenly, after 2 results, the pressure's got to you and you decide to change it. No manager's going to do that in their right mind. That's a sign of weakness.
All right, well, two things there, Armando. One is, like, should you not be building a squad that can play, like, certain different ways? And the second one is what, like, we talked about sort of, like, physicality and aggression and attitude. Why do you think within a week that's going to change?
I think it's going to change because you said it's like Groundhog Day. We lost Brentford and Brighton last season. We had 8-day break with training behind the scenes. The manager was embarrassed, and we came back and we beat Liverpool. And we got Nottingham Forest, but after that we got Arsenal, another tough game where we have to turn it up. The pressure's on at Man United Football Club. So the manager, his job's on the line. He don't give a damn. He's going to give it to whoever he feels he needs to give it to in the squad who doesn't feel is performing. And he might have to make some drastic changes, like he did last year, by bringing in players that he feels I can trust you to go and perform diligently for me and do what I require. And then he can sit back and be relaxed. It's full-time pressure. This ain't Ajax where you're probably going to win most of the games. This is different kettle of fish, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and I think the manager is taking the challenge really well. I think he enjoys it. His whole career will be classed on what he does now. And every week you can't sleep. You have to. The pressure will be on, and it's a good thing. Don't you think? Half time,
I do, but
for the players and the management. And sorry, just to finish the last point you made about changing things or bringing a squad in so you can have a bid plan B and that kind of thing. I think we do. There's, like you say, when we got the ball, we're pushing, we're trying to make high transitions up the pitch, and that once that clicks, no one will be complaining. But where I think we've really sort of improved is being able to absorb pressure. I've seen us in games, Arsenal, when we lost at Highbury last year, not Highbury, what do you call it, Emirates last year. We were under a lot of pressure. We were able to absorb it. It's just stupid errors, mistakes that where they opened us up. I think we're getting into situations now where I'm watching games really tightly as a defender. I can see how compact we are, and we're doing the right things. And we're making it hard for teams to break us down. Even the manager said after the Wolves game, when they were running through us, that he was happy with the way we defended the counters.
Sorry? What did he say?
He said he was happy with the way that we defended counters.
Well, he's the only one.
Yeah, he has to be the only one because Cunha was brushing people off and running.
We're talking about the defence, not talking about the guys that Cunha's breeze through.
Martinez was not good in transitions.
That's why he got
against Wolves.
Yeah, he got dragged at half time.
Yeah, he was on a yellow. But the one thing I'd say to the point you've made, Monday, before I unleash Mr. B on you, is when I talked about when you said I'm expecting a response and stuff like this, that you're saying that you get different players in and they'll give you that response. Are you saying that the ones that have gone out for the first 2 games this season, the first 2 games of last season, that they don't have the minerals to do it?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the manager knows firsthand. He's behind the scenes. Manager knows firsthand who's not performing. We can look from the outside and say, all right, it doesn't look like this guy's put the effort in or whatever. But I think the manager last year, he brought in Dallo and he brought in
Mctominay.
Mctominay. Okay.
And Alanga.
Yeah, so guys that he can rely on to do the work. And it's like, right, we're going to show you now how to do it. And sometimes you have to make changes for half-time to keep people on their toes. So someone who could be like Antony, for example, who a lot of people saying should be dropped, he could drag him this week and say, right, I'm playing another play in that position, and Antony would improve from that because he's like, damn, I don't want to lose my place. So it's a lot of psychological things going on here as well. It's not just about the form or someone who wasn't performing. It's about managing the side to say, right, I'm going to drag you this week and take you off, and you're going to sit on the bench and watch, and then someone's going to come in, play well, and perform. A bit like Phil Foden with the De Bruyne situation right now, which I mentioned the other day. Phil Foden's come in, he played brilliantly. He's going to have to perform. It's his opportunity. He's been in and out the side for the last 6 months or so. Knowing De Bruyne is not going to be there, he's got an opportunity to shine. And it's down to him now to show the personality to say, right, I'm going to take this opportunity and take my chance. And when De Bruyne comes back, that gives a manager a problem. So this is how you manage a team to keep people on their toes and everything else. And I think he needs to tweak it somehow. Unfortunately, Mount is out injured, but now it's like Eriksen and Mctominay. One of these players probably got an opportunity to come in and play. Who is it going to be? We still don't know. So I just think it's psychological, it's physical as well. It's a bit of a spanking sometimes. It's the carrot and the stick kind of formula here. You beat someone with a stick sometimes, say, no, you're not playing well enough, come off. Or you say, yeah, Garnacho, I know you haven't played well the last couple of games. I've started you just like that. Here's a carrot, you can chew on that and go out there this time and play, and I want you to perform. Even though some people might be saying, take him off, rest him, he's not playing well. He might come start him again to give him that confidence, It's how you treat different players. As you know, I'm saying this, you guys know this already as manager.
Just one message here, Reggie. You've got Mount being out injured will make us play better. Please explain that, because he's been playing Mount all season. We had Eriksen, who we all decided last season that his legs had gone. He's another 3 months older. I don't think he's going to be getting any faster. So just explain for me, if you're still in the chat, just where you're coming from. Because I said a lot of people are saying, now Mount's come in, we need to get Eriksen in. But do you remember how man was running past Eriksen last season?
Well, yeah.
You see? So I think we've still got issues. We're just going back to something that we knew wasn't working, but it's desperation now. We're just praying that Eriksen can run fast for 45 minutes. Is that what we're hoping for? Are we hoping to dominate the game where he doesn't have to be doing that running? But then if you look how Mount's playing, he's got Mount as some pressing monster. Eriksen's going to be dead after 4.5 minutes if he tries to copy Mount. So there has to be some sort of change going on somewhere.
When you say dead tired, don't you?
Sorry, shit, yeah. Sorry, dead tired. Oh, Lord. Yeah, sorry, yeah, dead tired.
All right. Comments quickly. Great, James Ward-Prowse would have been better. Good signing, says W2K. Pranay saying, Eriksen for me. If people have seen the Arsenal game, Forest were not too bad on the counter, so we need players who can keep the ball. Is Holland going to make the bench from Rajat? 4-4-2 says Man United. Also 4-3-3. I like the left back and right back move to the middle to help Casemiro and leave 2 centre backs. That would be like.
No. That's just incorrect. He's talking about a 2-3 rest defense, which we have never played.
3-2, right? We go 3-2, right?
Well, we kind of go 3-1. I mean, the interesting thing is that, like, if we get Amrabat, I'd quite like to see him play at right back, and then have him invert, so we get that 3-2.
Like what Partey's doing for Arsenal.
Yeah, almost as if a couple of years ago someone talked about Paul Pogba doing something quite similar.
Oh Lord,
doesn't look so stupid anymore, does it?
I told you so. No, it makes more sense now. People were laughing at you way back then, a couple of years ago, but take that back. And from now on, put some respect on his name, as they say.
I'm still not playing Paul Pogba at right back. I don't care what halftime shows me, what diagrams he gives me. There's no chance.
When we see part-time, and this is what I'm saying. Part-time is like he's got a time machine or something. He's gone back to the future from where a couple of years ago and seen what the future looks like. The issue is having number 25 goal scorers. That's Premier League goals. So we haven't got someone who scores 25 Premier League goals. I want to say hi to Mr. Breeder, saying maybe the dressing room is toxic again. Something ain't right, he's saying there. I'm just randomly going through the comments here. Dressing room isn't toxic, said Pranay. There's finally some discipline in the squad. Just that the business this summer has been shocking, and some players don't want to be there. Wow. I'm getting cussed here by our owner. It's Solo. He said, I'm wondering, I don't know what game you've been watching in the last 2 games. And also in the preseason, we've been playing bad. So that's from Solo. WWE 2K saying, the players fold under pressure. This is not the days of Sir Alex Ferguson. And you fight until the last minute. Big up to Sigmund Judge. She's saying, even lad, sorry for late arrival. Mctominay, relaxed strength. I think he can offer that, if nothing else. Also saying here, Mount getting away with far too much flack. He's been at United 55 days. Supporters actually need to start supporting. Good one. Big up to Grace as well. Do you think we should have just prioritized 2 strikers and a DM? I feel like that's what we needed the most. And Pranay saying here, I agree with Barfline about Amrabat and right back to invert, because it was noticeable in the World Cup when Amrabat faced Mbappe on the left and worked his butt off to keep him quiet. Pranay.
Half time looks like you're getting a little support for this.
Well, it's been a tough week for you, Mr. B. There's been a lot of chat about Rashford, people asking for McTominay to come in. It's how are you coping?
I will be back. I don't choo me. Don't choo me. Guys, if you don't know what choo is, you better jump on the wagon, mate. You better jump on it. God almighty. Bath time's in here taking the fucking piss.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's
guys.
Laugh.
Yeah, I know, man. I might have to mute him, man. Son of a bitch. Guys, this is one of the most important parts of the show. This is Solo's 11. He did message me about 45 minutes ago. So although he's not on the channel, the abuse is all for him. So any abuse, anything you disagree with the team, at Solo, this is blah, 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 blah. But he's gone with Onana in goal. No change from Varane and Martinez. Shaw left back and Wan-Bissaka right back. It's gone 4-3-3, it looks like. He's actually gone Eriksen, Casemiro, Bruno. He's gone Garnacho left, Rashford centre, and Antony on the right. Agree, disagree, and what the hell are you changing? This goes for you guys in the chat as well.
Well, Vince has already jumped in by saying Vincent's thumbnails are looking fantastic. Most certainly, they do look good. We got a comment here, not Garnacho and Antony again. Lord have mercy. That's from Pranay, so he doesn't agree with that. Not to play Wan-Bissaka in. Don't play Wan-Bissaka in this game. That's from Rajat. Can I just say something? Can I say something quickly? I just think this shows how good it's getting, because for a long time, the Solo 11 always caused gasps and horror. It shows you how good a side we're becoming and how easy it is to pick a side with Man United these days, because I've got no real complaints, at the moment. It just shows you that we're going in the right direction, because now it's like, okay, yeah, no problem. I'm going with that.
You take it. Yeah, go on. I'll let you go.
I've got a couple of complaints, but the first thing is I can't believe that there's actual photographic evidence of Antony touching the ball on his right foot. Did you see that?
Oh, God. I see it.
It's a plant. Yeah. Photoshop.
Oh, God.
Go on, Mr. V.
Yeah, so I was going to say, is Garnacho starting?
Nope.
Is Garnacho an issue? So, you said no straight away. Come and talk to me. Guys in the chat, if you do disagree, just light him up.
Yeah. I think that Solo's got one player wrong in this team, and it's Garnacho. I think that Rashford will play left wing, and either Martial, but probably Sancho, will play centre forward because he doesn't seem to want to play Mctominay. I don't expect to see Mctominay like start this game. He might come on, but I think that he'll go out and he'll try and do. He'll just try and do his normal stuff. We all know how stubborn he is. And if you're playing Eriksen at left centre mid, Rashford has to play at left wing because we're going to compress everything on that side. And Garnacho, he hasn't performed. So, I don't even think that there's any question about Rashford starting left wing. Antony, I think he will start right wing. Palestri, we want rid of, apparently. Send him out on loan. He's not ready. I know, but this is your manager, Mr. B. This is what he wants to do.
It's our manager. It's not my manager. It's our manager.
Okay, he's our manager. We share him. You have him on weekends. And I think that, depending on Martial's fitness, the only person who's played down centre, in pre-season was Sancho. So I think it's going to be Rashford, Sancho, and Antony, with Eriksen at left CM and the rest of the team pretty much the same.
So, like me, you believe that there was a reason for Sancho playing as the false number 9 during pre-season, because Monday just thinks it was just to get him fit.
No,
I never said that, Mr.
Oh, I can listen. Is that not what I said yesterday? My mind might have been a little bit foggy and a little bit hazy, but I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure
I never said that.
That's what I got out of it towards the end of the conversation. Maybe I was wrong.
Okay. But yeah, anyway, let's move on.
No, why do you think he was playing at false 9 on Monday?
I never said no. I never said that he was playing there just to get fit. I just said that he can play there. I'll tell you what I think. I'm not going to quote what I said because I had a brief conversation maybe about it. I just felt that he can play on the left. He can play anywhere across the forward line. He's very talented. A lot of people want to see him in Antony's place at the moment. I just think him playing there is like an education. I think it's like you can play this position. But when the season starts and you don't see him in the starting lineup, for me, it's like, nah, this ain't right. We've had 2 sort of poorish results. He should be playing ahead of Garnacho on the left and Rashford up front, and then fighting for a place with once we get a striker in, Rashford can go left, and then he can fight for another place. I just think what you got with Sancho is people like to disrespect him. I just think he is good enough to be a first teamer for us, and he's just showing his versatility that he can play all across the line, even in the middle. And Martial, after what I saw the other day, just reminded me how good a footballer he is when he came on a brief cameo. I do think Martial is still our best option. I haven't seen Ram, the new striker yet, the Danish guy, but I think he is our best option as number 9. But him and Sancho can do a similar job, and I think Sancho will let the ball stick and be very intelligent with his use of the ball, whereas it's because they know you can't just play long balls to him or balls down the channel like you can with Rashford, which is like percentage balls. You got to play it into his feet, give and go, and you know you're going to get a little something from him, like a pinball thing. You play it into him. He's like pinball. You can pop it into his feet. You know how to play to his strengths. So it's not about him getting fit. It is in a way. Everyone's got a big game time, but I think Sancho's just proving what a great asset he is.
You're not worried that Sancho, Antony, and Bruno are all going to get in the same space, like that right-hand half space.
Sancho, Antony, and Bruno.
Yeah.
No, I think they're intelligent enough not to. I do. I think this is the thing. Look, these guys, we're undermining them a little bit by suggesting that. I think they've been learned the system so long now, they know they're not going to clog space. The only one I would worry about that is someone like Rashford, who was played as number 9 and still drifting out to positions like Garnacho's position, taking up that space. I've seen that happen with my own eyes. I haven't had evidence with my own eyes for what you're suggesting on the right with Rashford, Sancho, Bruno, and Antony. I haven't seen that yet, but maybe you can evidence that for us. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm just like one thing that I've noticed about Antony this season is that he's holding width less. We saw against Wolves and Spurs, Garnacho, for all the nonsense that he got up to, he held the width really well out on the left-hand side, whereas Antony was playing much, much more central. And I think that Sancho might help Antony a bit, because there's this thing, this is years ago, where Wenger used to talk about something called tactical empathy. I think Thierry Henry mentioned it recently, where what you got to do is you got to look at the players around you, you got to understand their game, know what they're good at, know what they're not good at, and help them either with the ball you give them, like give it to where they're comfortable receiving it,
Yes.
or you've got to go and like make the space for them. And one of the things that I'd like to see from Sancho, if he does start as number 9, is making runs from central to right when Antony has the ball and opening up that space for Antony to get in and being more central. I think you'll see Antony sort of playing as a sort of like more of a sort of like left-sided striker with
How does he get over
Sancho
there,
on the
though?
outside.
Bath time, because Ten Hag tends to want especially Anthony's position to stay wide. How do you think that sort of
Right? Yeah. Okay, so what this is like, so in the third phase, creativity play, Antony is going to be making runs from out to in, okay, and so he's going to be past the ball on the touchline. He's obviously going to take it on his left foot, and he's going to go inside. And for that space to be there, like one of Bruno or Sancho has got to vacate that space and go somewhere else in order to make that hole that Antony charges into. Right. We've seen that from like Alanga was doing that against the supermarket team from Moldova last year. It's a really sort of common pattern of play from Ten Hag. So what I think is going to happen is that Antony's starting position is going to be more narrow, which also helps with the press. So he's going to be further in. Like Wan-Bissaka or Dalot might be the one that like overlaps to sort of get the width out there. But I think that Antony's going to be like further central, almost in like the left half space when he gets the ball. That's one of the tactical changes that I've seen this year, is that Antony is more narrow. Like, but that's in like when we got the ball up the pitch. When we're in that 3-1-6 shape, when we're building up, Antony is still on the touchline. Getting straight balls from Wan-Bissaka.
I do when I watch Saka. Saka's very effective. But he comes, like as you said, you mentioned there last time about Antony. I think what Saka does really well, he comes off the touchline and receives balls like in that sort of half space area. And, Antony's getting what I tend to see is Antony getting the ball to feet, wanting the ball to feet, and facing the man up and saying, yeah, let's get it on or whatever. He's getting balls in the wrong areas where he's not being effective. Or he's always got a man right up his backside, rushing him. So he's played into his feet, like near the halfway line, for example. They know, right, I'm going to get close to him. And he's trying to wiggle or turn or, or flick or do something stupid to get out of there. He needs to sort of just be intelligent, make 5-yard runs, or just to create a better angle and coming off the touchline so he can receive the ball differently. I think there's a player there, if he can get the ball in the right areas further up the pitch without having to do the showtime tricks and everything else, facing the guy up. This is like not Brazil where it's like scorching heat and you can just want to do
Toca me voy.
Play, try and take people on all the time. I just think Anthony will improve once he starts coming off the touchline and making better runs and getting into the box and scoring goals. Just 1-2 touch, bang,
I think this is the plan for him, because there's a couple of things going on with that midfield. Like one of the genuine issues I have with Bruno, I'm nowhere near Bruno out. I have doubts about him, but I'm nowhere near Bruno out. Is that Bruno's not great at creating support angles for players. So when we get the we've talked about this before about straight balls, diagonal runs, diagonal balls, straight runs. Like Wan-Bissaka gives straight balls to Antony, and there's not too many options he can do. He can get a free kick, or he can knock it inside. And Bruno is very rarely there for the ball inside. Bruno's charging off into space. Casemiro, he can't really sort of come and vacate the centre to get that to get a nice 5-yard layoff. Because then we're cut open on transitions. But getting Eriksen might allow Casemiro to get nearer. So what we could see is straight ball from Wan-Bissaka, lay off from Antony to Casemiro, and then banging it out to Rashford. And the other thing is that like Antony is a player. It's like a lot of our players, where he doesn't really sort of like he doesn't occupy space. He attacks space. And this is why I think that Sancho was being tried as a false nine, because if Sancho makes those runs and like leaves a pocket of space, that Antony is then able to attack that pocket of space the way that Brazilians traditionally do. So he's not like receiving the ball between the lines. He's getting the ball and line breaking with like runs, dribbles, and shots. It's just his ball striking, I think, isn't anywhere near good enough for a player of his caliber. And I also don't like the way he addresses players with his body shape when he's dribbling. Like, you talk about him like squaring people up. Yeah, it's like Saka. You look at Saka, and he's got the left angle and the right angle open, and both are going to be difficult to defend. Antony is sitting there like he's on the tube holding the wire, just standing straight on, hip straight. It's wrong. He's aesthetically an annoying player. But I've talked too much, Mr. B. Have we got any fun comments?
Loads of them. I think we need Delo. Could we move Antony to the left if Rashi isn't playing there and Sancho on the right? That's from Alex. It's going back to old traditional, no inverted wingers. Grace is saying here, Rashford left, Pellistri right, Martial's number 9, Sancho behind, Bruno, Casemiro double pivot. That's interesting, that. Jeff saying here, I would like to see Sancho in a false 9 and Rashford back on the left. I'll go with that. Jeff and Bath Time, same mind. Speaking from the same mind, yeah, they both agree. Said that I noticed Jeff's typed at the same time you were right. He was saying that Bath Time. So unless you guys have got a headpiece in or something here, I think he's giving you advice.
It's all about Jeff's rise to power. It'll happen.
Well, I like that. And yeah, come on, Jeff, I'm behind you. Dave Sarr saying I'd rather lose than play McTominay again. It's time to move on from him. So he's not on the train. Sigmund saying here, start Pellistri. I really actually like to see him in the false 9 role. Maybe not got the physicality, but I think he could be primed for it. Jeff saying here, Sigmund, we all agree. Sadly, not much chance of that if the papers are correct and loan is agreed for Pellistri, so it could be on his way. Grace is saying here, would you drop Casemiro between the centre backs to give him cover to play a back three in the build-up play? What do we call that again, Bath Time?
La salida Volpiana. And it is a very, very good point, because Shaw and Wan-Bissaka are not good inside, but they're like, Shaw's very good outside, Wan-Bissaka's all right outside. So if you put Casemiro there, push the fullbacks up, the only issue is you've got to have Bruno and Eriksen in this team playing in the centre of the pitch, and I don't know if that's where you get the best out of Bruno, but I would be very up for seeing that. I think it's a very sensible comment.
We've seen that a few times, haven't we? Rarely, but it does happen. David's saying here, Rashford has been the worst United player this season so far. He gets past. He's the only winger in the world football who doesn't play with his teammates. You've got an agreement here. Pranay saying, yes, Bath Time. One thing I hate about Rashford is he doesn't want to run the channels between opponents, left back and centre back. He's always He's always staying close to the centre backs, and our midfielders have to cover the ground. Jeff again is saying, would like to see proper wingers with left foot on the left and right foot on the right, so we can get some crosses in. Pranay again is saying, I would prefer Rashford ran the wide channels and allowed the mids to crash into the box rather than the mids going all the way to the right to support Antony. And Rajat 100% agrees with that. Rajat is also saying here we can play McTominay for the late runs into the box. And sorry, Burgess, for the runner. I don't get that. The rebellion is starting, Jeff. Do you want to? Is it time to cue that?
Should we reveal the plot? So, all right, very quickly. I don't know if any of you know this, but if you go on the Man United website, you can get the minutes up for the fan forum meetings, and there's always some quite interesting stuff in there. Like in the latest one, they talked about how scouting at United worked. But in all of this, I found that there was a guy there who was the overseas fan representative for North America. And I asked Jeff to investigate what he's been up to and how we could submit questions and see if I could make this guy into our puppet. So we could have a show where we came up with one question to ask at the board meeting, and then we forced this guy to do it. But it turns out that there is a sort of like, that there's a bit of a dissent in the North American supporters clubs, where I believe, Jeff will correct me here, this Monday is the opening of the NFL or something, and they've paid for a plane to fly over Tampa Bay Buccaneers or whoever it is with a sign saying Glazers out. They've organised boycotts of like sponsors and products and things. And because of this, the overseas fan representative has stopped talking to lots of fan groups in America. So now I believe that it's time for Jeff to seize power, because blood alone moves the wheels of history. That's Mussolini. And so I am plotting with Jeff to get Jeff installed as the overseas fan representative for Man United, as our puppet leader. And I invite all of you to join in this coup d'etat, because we will win and Jeff will be our leader. Yes, Andrew, he knows.
We're behind you, Jeff, and bath time.
So,
Yeah, let's see what happens. But I would want to keep updated. It sounds very interesting. This Jeff would be a one where I like Jeff. He's a wonderful guy. I think he'd be great in that role. If he can, with great power comes great responsibility. As long as you keep your name as Jeff, Man United agenda.
Spider-Man to Mussolini. Brilliant.
guys, before we shoot off, score predictions. There's a few of you in the chat, so I am expecting a few scores in here. And while you're doing it, look, just go sideways and hit that like button, and give it a share and a subscribe as well if you are new to the madness. Score predictions, guys. What we got?
What have you got, Mr. B? You go first, because
I'm gonna go a nervy 1-0 on Monday. I don't normally. I would like to see a goal and control. We haven't had the control in any of the games. So I do believe we're going to win. I can't see Forest beating us at home. I'll be honest. Even if I'm, in your darkest days, I can't see Forest beating us at home. So I do expect to win. But I think it's going to be tight. I don't think we've got the bullets to open them up yet. So yeah, I'm going to go 1-0.
I'm going to go a hopeful 2-0, like a goal in each half. But what I'm really hoping for is a performance.
yeah,
Like, I want to see, like, a lot of chances made. I don't care if we miss 7 chances, as long as we get 1 or 2 in. I want to see a reaction from the lads at Old Trafford with the crowd behind them. But to be honest, what I think we're going to see is a 1-0 or a 1-1 with the same bloody problems that we've had all season of not defending transitions, of not looking after the ball, and our front line not combining well until hopefully Martial comes on and we get a late winner. But I worry about us against Forest. Our fitness levels are appalling. They're a strong physical team. I don't like a Langer coming back against us. Like, I don't know. I'll be more confident tomorrow, but 1-1 would be my realistic one.
loads of scorelines here. Got 7-0 from Sigmund. I like that. 3-1 from Andrew Williams. That's obviously for Man United. 3-0 from Man United. Thank you. 2-0 to United, says Pranay. We've got Andrew Williams again saying, I've not got close so far. I went 4-0 versus Wolves and 2-1 versus Spurs. Oh, God. 3-0, says Rajat to Man United. We're going to beat them 2-1, says Matthew Bassett. 3-0, says David Saar. We've got 4-0 from Niall Kane. How you doing, Niall? Hope you're doing well. And Jeff saying here, since my draw prediction got me booed, I was
Everybody did him. Everybody booed him.
Even half-time booed him from the comments, I remember.
I booed him live. I was here. Boo!
All right,
Everyone boo Jeff. Boo!
DK saying it's going to be tough for United to win this. Newcastle is playing well. We're not playing Newcastle.
Thank God we're not playing Newcastle.
Okay, but best I hope was 2-2. Can we boo DK Wilson then?
No,
I don't know.
I'm not. We scored 2 goals. Yeah, but we scored 2 goals. Oh yeah, we're booing for that. But the 2 goals, I will gladly take the 2 goals. To be fair,
I think we're going to win 3-0. I'm saying 3-0 because I think it's going to click early, and then we're going to manage the game out and see it out. Nottingham Forest will make changes. I think I'm going to repeat this again. When we played them in some cup competition, maybe it was the League Cup, maybe the FA Cup last season, and they came to our grounds, and I was watching the game. I thought they were miserably poor, and they haven't made that many adjustments. We're not talking them up. Brendan Johnson really quick. Well, we ate him up, managed him quite easily. They've got the big African guy up front who scores the most of their goals, big and strong apparently.
6 and 6, isn't it?
Yeah, ate him up. There's nothing really coming from them, creation or anything like that. And they got the guy Yates in midfield. He should be, no disrespect, but to me, he doesn't bring anything that's outstanding compared to the Premiership. They've done well in the first season. Nottingham Forest. They bought loads of players. They got we're talking about the guy left foot.
You gone Dalek on Monday.
Who came from Brazil. Okay, I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna say.
Everyone's talking 3-0. Guys, we got this. Oh, he's gone. He'll be back. We got the scores in. There's been a few transfer bits and pieces going on. Bath time, I need to ask you. We've been linked with a goalkeeper. Guys in the chat, please, somebody help me. We have been linked with. Hold on. I should really have done this before, to be fair. But I don't know how the bloody hell to get. All right, we have been linked with. Where's this guy? There's another goalie, not Altai Benya. This another goalie that apparently we've put a bid in for. And I can't.
Yeah. Is it the one for 15 million?
Yes.
Like, do we need to be spending 15 million on
when we need bloody midfielders?
Yeah, or would you not prefer that 15 million to sort of upgrade Hoyland into someone who can actually play a game of football? I'm not. Pranay Vlachodimos.
Is that the guy? Yeah.
Yeah, Shakadimos' brother.
Yeah.
It's going to take some pliers to get him out of his club.
Good one.
Thanks.
I like that one. Well time.
I don't know, bruv. I mean, what's the why are we spending 15 million on a reserve goalkeeper? Has Anana got issues? Like, when you're spending that amount of money, do we have to play him in cup competitions, which is probably which is 100% the only way we're going to get a trophy? Like, it seems bad, man. It seems like poor use of funds again. Like, I mean, I know everyone's creaming themselves over Amrabat. I'm a little bit less in that camp, but we've got 4 midfielders now till the international break. No, it's not enough, and he doesn't want to play Mctominay. He wants to keep him like an abusive spouse. He wants to keep him, but not let him out. I don't understand. Like, choo-choo, get McTominay out. But I just think it's a bit madness to spend 15 million on a goalkeeper when, like, Heaton looked pretty good, and we shipped off a reserve goalkeeper that looked excellent, Kovac or something, for 7 million.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mr. B. What do you think?
I'm worried. Bath time. It's like you. We're trying to spread the money. I think we should have just gone in. Let Anana play every blood. Goalies don't get tired. Let him play every single bloody game. It's not all. What's he going to be doing? Standing up. That's all right. He does a little bit more than the average goalie. But Jesus Christ, we don't need to spend 15 million on another. Let Anana play every bloody game. It's no headache. It's not a problem. It's a bloody goalkeeper. He's not a central midfielder, a forward, or a winger. Shit, man. Anyway, look, guys. With that, it is time to leave. We will be back tomorrow. It's not going to be a preview show tomorrow, so that means it's going to be one of those Friday night gossip shows. We've got the takeaway on tomorrow as well, so I can see tomorrow being 4 hours of absolute carnage, to be fair. Yeah, beautiful. It's Friday. Guys, on Monday, anything else you want to say before we disappear?
I want to repeat what Pranay's saying here. Love everyone.
I like that. Oh, Pranay. Bath time, anything you want to say before we disappear?
Not really. Thanks for having me, and probably see you tomorrow night, boys.
That's what I like to hear. Guys, this is the agenda. Thanks for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow, 8:30.